I mean, how do you think I felt going to Pepperdine?
Right.
I'm going there with billionaire kids and, princesses and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. So like, oh my God, I felt a bit of an imposter syndrome.
Yes.
And in a way, you start matching their brain capacity, contributing as much as they do.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh, well, maybe they sometimes maybe they just stand their cherry case. Oh, no, they forget. But then when you actually start seeing your intellect, oh my God, this guy's...
No, he has got.
Yeah, no, there's something going on up there.
Yeah. This is a Dogs Train Home podcast. Stories of second chances, one person and one dog at a time. And I'm your host, Vix Little. Hi, Carlos. Thanks for coming. So, I was gonna say, tell us about your life and then we'll move up to Joy Water. But since as I met you through Joy Water, I feel like we should do it on the reverse. Because I actually, to explain to the listeners, we actually met through the farmers market.
Correct.
Now, the listeners probably don't know this, but I'm actually a writer. I write children's books. I think I had both my children's books at that market plus my Dogs Train Home stuff.
Yes.
And then you were set up on the stall
Yes.
just up the line. Yeah.
Yeah, just right down the line.
Yeah. And I saw, oh wait, Homeboys. I've been meaning to get in contact with Homeboys to try and talk to you about what we do as well. And then Joy Water, which I'm going to open mine. I've been waiting to get some more of this. I love Joy Water. And so I didn't realize also, the other day someone told me if you go to Europe, you have, they do sparkling water. And when you go into a restaurant and they ask you which water you like, in Europe, not talking about England, I've not seen it in England, but I think it was around Germany way, they will ask you, do you want extra fizzy, medium fizzy or still? And I didn't realize that there was different types of fizzies and people prefer different types. I like this fizzy because it's medium fizzy. I don't like it to blow my brain.
Have that bite.
Yeah. So tell me about Joy Water. How did that all come about with Homeboys?
So this all came back through my internship when I was getting my master's at Pepperdine University.
Yeah.
So I met Tom Bozzo at a conference. He was a speaker at Pepperdine University. So I had trouble finding an internship because since I was still on parole, you cannot travel more than 50 miles. And I applied to a bunch of places. I mean, literally, when you're applying for these internships, you just send 400 or 500 applications. You might hear back from 3. But the ones that I did hear back from were actually out of state.
Oh.
Yeah, out of state. So obviously I couldn't take them.
Yeah.
So then I'm just coming down to the wire, so I volunteered at this conference. I met Tom. And then I asked him, hey, I've heard about Homeboys. Could you possibly help me out with this? And he gave me his phone number.
Yeah.
Called him up a couple weeks later, and he hooked me up with Todd Hitomi and Trey. And so they're both, they both work in the venture capital side of Homeboy Industries, which is something that probably people most don't know about, that Homeboy has just so many things going on in the back.
Yeah.
So,
well, they need to, because they need to be able to service everyone, I suppose.
Yeah. And then I think they're also taking kind of a new approach, which is called impact investing, which means instead of people just giving their donations and just spending it, they're actually taking that money and making businesses. And so they can start making, some revenue and start getting gains instead of just being constantly just taking money, let's invest in the create jobs, for the population. So, getting back to that, I did contact Todd. We had an awesome interview. And my summer internship began there. And I just didn't know what I was going to get into, I was like, oh man, what am I going to be doing? It's Homeboy.
So did you apply to Pepperdine, but you was waiting to hear back? Or did you?
No, I was already, I was at the end of my first year.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, I was at the end of my first year as a student. So through Todd and Trey, then they brought me on. That's to what Homeboy has going on, in the background.
Yeah.
For example, they have their new dog grooming, their new dog grooming salon.
I heard they're getting into
Yes, yes. I got to work on the background of that from the start.
Did you?
Yeah, actually building the business models.
Yeah.
Building the business models, going out there and doing customer discovery to different areas and
Because that's what you study or were studying at Pepperdine.
yes. So you're out there actually on the streets, actually getting real world experience through homeboys. You would never think that, but they have some of the brightest minds in there. And just the amount of talent that is incredible. So I'm out there doing this, the customer discovery. And then so then I meet Sheila McNally, which Joy is another venture that Homeboy Industries has. So Sheila McNally, rock star. I mean, she's a superwoman.
So is she the one that I've been seeing on TikTok?
Yes.
Or would be doing the joy cleanse?
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to do a joy cleanse.
Oh,
Love that.
That's another powerful tool that also I did it. I've done it a couple of times.
I could do a 2-day one.
No, but actually on the third day it gets easier.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, the second day is hardest.
Okay, so then
once you have the third day, you're
sailing. Yeah.
So it was Sheila McNally. I got to know they had the venture consisted of a sales team. They had 2 people doing sales, going to trying to sell this water. This water is actually from Canada. Yeah. So she's Canadian and she owns the well. It's at the bottom of Mount Robson.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this water is just.
So it comes distilled from there.
Yes,
and then they ship.
Correct. So it's got from an aquifer, so it actually tapped underground.
Yeah.
So the water never actually reaches the surface, before it's already tapped in being canned. But so you're just gonna think about this water just traveling, miles and miles, and just getting
down a mountain.
Yeah, but it actually has life, because it's been actually known through science that water has memory.
Yes.
Yes. So it's coming down on the ground and it's in this beautiful, underground well.
Yeah.
And just this is like I call this life with water with life.
Yeah.
Because it actually has all those whatever is gone to
minerals.
Yes, exactly. But then there's these new waters. It's more like it's dead because you are killing the water when you turn it into vapor. Have to distill it, turn it into vapor and then get it back down. It loses its essence.
Yeah. And
then you can't just infuse it with minerals.
You can't put stuff back into it because, like you say, it does have a memory.
Right, and it's not the same.
Yeah.
So I got to learn I'm learning all this stuff, through hanging out with Sheila. She's also like into fitness and stuff like that. And actually I did it's called High Rocks. Me and her teamed up together and we did this High Rocks competition in Vegas, which is...
What's High Rocks? Tell me about
So it's more like it's almost like a light Ironman, kind of like a CrossFit.
Yeah.
So you run a kilometer, you do an exercise, you run another kilometer.
Yeah.
You do about 8 stands, exercises, So we paired up and we did it together, and that was...
I love that.
An amazing
and
experience.
You could definitely, because it's not too bubbly.
Yes.
Like I could take this to a workout class. Some of the bubbles, I've taken fizzy drinks to workout classes, but some of the bubbles are too much. But this is perfect. I could down one of these in a workout class.
Yeah, it's actually, it's another thing. They actually kept the bubbles kind of low. They didn't want to mess too much with the pH level of the water.
Does that mess with the pH?
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I think the overall mission of Joy First is health.
Yeah.
Actually having people drink. People do not put enough emphasis on water. Always think about, organic food, all this.
Yeah.
But they pay no attention to water because it's such a, abundant resource.
Yeah.
And they don't really know much about it. As kids, we should drink from the hose.
Yeah.
Water is water, right?
Yeah.
But then now you start looking into, now we got science is seeing that what's in our water.
What carries?
Yeah, what does it have? Like I said, it does have a memory. It can also have a bad memory.
Yeah.
For all those PFAs and chemicals and stuff like that. It could be carried at a,
and the metals that carried in it. Yeah, because I'd wake up at night and just go to the bathroom tap and just drink water because...
Yeah, that's what we used to.
Yeah.
And also, I lived like another place like in Idaho, where the water is great, right from the tap. But unfortunately, we live in Southern California, in big cities, and that's not recommended.
True. I think back now and I'm like, wow, what did that water have in it? Because especially my parents eventually they realized, they used to say, you can drink from the tap downstairs, but not the one upstairs because it's closer to the tank. but water has memory, so it doesn't really matter. But we kind of started to realize, no, the tanks are made of steel and copper, and that's not good to drink from.
It's and I think that for me, I really connected with joy because so I was raised in Mexico, and we used to have like my dad's family, they lived like up in the mountains, so they
Yeah.
always got their water either from the river
Yeah.
or from a well, and you could just taste the difference because we also had a house in the city, so when we go to the house in the city, you could actually start because they put so much bleach in it, like your teeth will start turning yellow.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, it really stayed in your teeth. And then we would go and stay a few months, up in the hills, and it was just white.
yeah.
It was just white. And, also you can see like also the lifespan of people. Like people like for where our dad is from, they live to be like my grandpa lived to be 95.
Because of the minerals.
Well, I mean, and trust me, he did not live a healthy lifestyle. He was not healthy at all.
Yeah.
But he got to live to 95, and I attribute that because of the stuff that we're putting in their body, just
Yeah.
water. They don't think about it, but it's pure water.
Flush out.
Yeah, flushing everything through.
Yeah.
But then you look at the cities where people are drinking, either tap water, and you just have just elements
Yeah.
and all sorts of stuff.
And the rocks that it's coming through. I remember my dad's Irish, and he comes from a place called Galway, and it's probably still there. There's Galway Bay, and there was a well, and I think it was man-made, but a very, very long time ago. And he took me to it, and he said, here's a cup, and the salt sea would come over it, and the minute it washed out, if you put your cup in it, you could drink, and it didn't have the salt in it because of the rocks that it was flowing through.
Oh,
I was like, wow, it's magic. But obviously, when I got older, I was like, oh no, it's as it washes back through the rocks are, I know, neutralized. I don't know the science, but
strip the salt.
Strip the
Or
salt.
at least diminishes enough to make it palatable.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
so you could sit and just drink from it. It must have been man-made because it was round. I remember it vaguely, but
and now we're actually because my aunt, she is a politician in the area that we're from, and now with more studies of science, now we get to see that there's a concentrated area in their hometown where people have like large percentage of them develop cancer, and that is because of all the copper, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't understand that when they were building the cities.
No.
But now that they're more conscious, she's ripping all that stuff out.
Yeah.
Trying to mend the situation.
Yeah.
So that goes back to saying that people don't really pay a lot of attention as to what's in their water.
Yeah.
And so this water is actually just amazing because it hasn't been touched by man.
Yeah.
And all it has, the right amount of minerals, the right minerals as well.
Yeah.
Calcium, potassium, and magnesium, those are the only ones that you need, but you also need only certain levels.
Yeah.
And who better to determine what levels that you need than nature?
The nature's it.
Nature,
it's producing it for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. We've been drinking it for thousands of years,
Yeah.
and there's a reason for why nature knows what we need.
Yeah.
Yeah, but here sometimes you have people like, oh, we're putting this in the water, this in the water, in this pH level. The thing is, you really need to understand what all those things mean to say that some things are just marketing.
Yeah.
Marketing like liquid death, they have a great marketing program.
Yeah.
Like it's just really cheap, horrible water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this stuff is just, I mean, you can feel it like drinking 2 cans a day, you will feel a difference.
Yeah, yeah.
You do feel a difference.
I love the fact that now you're talking about bubble, because I like the bubble taste on it.
Yeah.
So I'm now that you've told me that it's purposely done because of the pH level, that's great.
Yeah, that's like I said, Sheila, she's really into health and wellness.
Yeah.
Like really, really into health and wellness, and she's a very spiritual person. So she wants to, even though a lot of people here in America, they're more used to the fizzy stuff.
Yeah.
Like really, really fizzy, and some people have actually told her, you should put more bubbles. But I think she's sticking to her guys, like, no, this is the purpose.
There's enough more bubbles on the market.
Yes. So her product is not only differentiates, but also the fact that she wants wellness to be at the top.
The point isn't the taste and what you're getting in your mouth. It's the outcome of your
exactly the result that you feel from it.
Yeah.
And I started working with her. And she's also just taught me a lot about sales because she's a very experienced saleswoman.
Yeah.
At one point, I think her family had the second largest independent brewery in Canada.
Oh, awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
so she knows.
Yeah, so she knows sales.
Yeah.
So followed up with her, just seeing the way she works.
Yeah.
She's a master. She's a master salesman.
Yeah.
So that's how I got involved with Joy Waters.
Yeah.
Now here we're going through some restructuring, and also working with her husband, Leo DeMewer, another just insanely smart man.
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness, just talking to this guy who's just put you up on game and so many things. The fact that it's just, like I said, all this comes back to Homeboy kind of exposed me
Yeah.
to this level of individuals. I mean, it's good. I did have contacts at the university and stuff like that, but these are people that actually do care and are investing in your success.
I get that. I've been listening to their podcast, and that's really been helping me understand their history and how it all started. And I love it because what they're doing is, rather than just, obviously at the beginning, support, handing out money, well, now it's like, well, no, but how can we support you to support yourself?
Yes.
So you don't need us. That's the whole, then it's sustainable, and then you can come and give back, and it's just a nice circle of life.
Yeah, it's almost in a way they have to reteach you things. They have to reteach you things, because at some point we kind of we lose our way.
Yeah.
We lose our way, we forget how to really function, within society.
Yeah, yeah.
And so even though some people might not understand, there's a reason why it's a step-by-step program.
Yeah.
Just slowly start increasing responsibilities and so on and so forth until they want you to branch out and, go off on your own and just know that you can be normal.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful life out here instead of being behind bars where you're just so constrained.
But you were on your own before you met Homeboys in Pepperdine for a year.
Yes.
What was that like? Because that would have been a shock coming back into society with just the society runs differently.
It's definitely well, when I first went in, I mean, in a sense, I was lucky that I did not necessarily miss the whole technology shit.
Good.
I didn't miss it entirely. So I was familiar with computers, phone. I mean, the iPhone, I think the 3 was out at the time and stuff like that. So I kind of knew a little bit of it.
Yeah.
But coming back out and just seeing how everything's just so different.
Yeah.
And people do tell you, like, man, you look like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
You're just kind of lost, like, like you don't fit in. Like, well, you don't, because it's just, you're just being, entombed in this, concrete box, or in concrete walls everywhere, and everything's just so different. And then you're coming out here, and none of that matters. Just like it just never with fingers. Like, you just reinserted back into society. You're like, oh, okay, what do I do now? Though luckily, I had to go to a 6-month program. And I went to Clear Skies Ranch. Gabrielle, she helped me get all my documents in line. And
so who's that?
Gabrielle Melville. She runs Clear Skies Ranch.
How does that work?
So you basically so when you apply for when you're going for the parole board, they make you send a bunch of letters to different halfway houses.
Right. Yeah.
And they send you letters of acceptance.
That's for your support, so that they know that you've got support when you come out.
Correct. Yeah, they want to know that you're not just going to be left off on the street.
Right.
Going wild.
Yeah.
So I contacted Clear Skies Ranch, because it's almost like also like an internship. You send, and this is from you making manual letters in prison, writing these programs, and because then you send about 100 letters out, and you might get 5 back.
Yeah.
But as long as you have something, they want to know that you actually made an effort.
Yeah, yeah. That's the thing, is they know that you're making an effort to what your future's going to be. Yeah.
So see, Gabrielle, she drove me around, get my social security number, get my
so important.
Yeah, all those small little documents they are, because you come out with you basically don't exist.
Yeah.
You basically don't exist. You're here with a bunch of papers, and people have to vouch that you're this person and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, even just trying to get my taxes done. I mean, the IRS. And I went to the IRS office, and they kept telling me, "Oh, we have to verify that you're not incarcerated." I'm like, I'm out here
standing in front of you.
Yeah, I'm in a federal building with a state ID. And what other proof do you need? And they're like, oh no, we have to get a letter from the prison that you're not there.
Shoot.
I'm like, does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that took a while as well.
Yeah,
and even just getting my veterans benefits as well. That was another trick. They also said they wanted me to be verified that I wasn't incarcerated. I'm like, I'm here at at the federal building, in Westwood,
Yeah, yeah.
which they have like the FBI. All the other, it was like
She's like, I literally just
yeah,
walked in here.
yeah,
If I
exactly.
was on the run, I really wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Don't move.
yeah. I would be going to federal agents to get it to here, right? Because they run your name and everything. Of course, they make sure that you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had to do that. It took about 4 or 5 months. But like I said, it's difficult. I mean, luckily, it wasn't too bad for me because I had a lot of good support.
Yeah.
Luckily,
That's amazing she did all that for you, because that's basically, I was telling you off camera that that's what Isaac struggled with when he came out, and that's when we was like, we want to set up Dogs Train Home. He wanted that side of things to be set up as well, because he couldn't find that support. And then we helped another one of our members, Rudy, who's up in Oakland, and he actually worked with me to set up a PDF document, because again, he didn't have that support, so he had to rely on his friends and family. So I did this document where it would tell you, go to this website. And he went in before, he missed the technology altogether, so it's really hard for him. So he was like, what I really needed, and if it wasn't him using it, at least then it would have made his family members' lives easier. Where driver's license, go to this document. Now, halfway down the page, you're going to see this tab, press that. Then on that page, you're going to see this, press that tab. And we've done a step by step, because he didn't find anyone like that. So that's amazing that she did all that for you.
yeah, no, it's those small little things do matter a lot.
Yes.
And especially well, once you come out here now, even though like the halfway house does provide you with food, it just depends on what this halfway house provides, and if it's state funded. Like for example, myself, I was at the halfway house, but it wasn't state funded, so I actually had to pay my own rent. So paying my own rent, I also had to find a job. And you need all those documents to find a job.
Yeah.
Right away, because, you get reinserted, you got your phone bill, you got everything, you got, all these bills. Yeah, exactly. When you're there, you're just kind of just waiting for everybody to be like, no, now it's time for me to start giving back.
So the halfway houses that aren't state funded, are they just people that just want to run a halfway house?
Well, some are state funded. The thing is, there's a lot of bureaucracy involved.
Yeah.
And so the state of California gave the contract to a certain company, and they run a series of homes. Now every home has different rules.
Yeah.
Now the reason I went to Clear Skies Ranch, because they do more of a tailored program to you, because they already know, like, okay, obviously this guy doesn't need to be held by the hand. This guy, he can navigate, he knows how to drive, blah blah blah. So we can kind of let him be a little bit more independent.
Yeah.
With the state funded halfway houses, they don't allow you that leeway. I mean, they're supposed
everyone's the same.
Yeah, everyone's the same. You're not gonna get no special treatment. And they force you to, like, okay, from 0 to 90 days, you're doing nothing but here in drug rehabilitation classes. So if I would have gone to one of those homes and not pay my own rent, I would not gone to Pepperdine, because I would have had to be
There.
it was in the
That was the
compound.
same issue with Rudy. We tried to get him into our dog training program to hook him up with a rescue up there, but he's grateful for it, don't get me wrong. But he was like in class every day. He had to do those programs.
Yes, and was here with Gabrielle. She evaluates you. So, okay, you do still need to do some of these classes. You still need to meet with your parole requirements, but I can let you go a little bit more. So, because I got out April 20 of 2023, which is right at the end of the year. So, people already starting to apply to college.
Yeah.
There. So I got out, and I mean, when I got out, even though I already had a bachelor's degree because I got in prison, I started out washing dishes. Because you need income. You need income right away. You need income right away. So screw it, I'm sitting there washing dishes just to make my rent. I'm like, man, I always wanted. I had already started my master's. In prison, but it was still distance. I wanted to go to an actual campus.
Yeah.
So I was.
Oh, actually, stopping you there with regards to doing that in prison, did you find any of the courses in prison that you could do that helped, like as preset for Pepperdine?
Well, I think all of them. But the thing is that when you're taking school courses in prison is a lot different, because you can actually engulf yourself in the you actually do read every article every book,
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. So it does prepare you, gives you a great foundation.
Yeah.
The only thing that it lacks is the technology aspect.
Yeah.
Because I was doing
Heard that.
my courses, on a typewriter.
Yeah. Textbook.
Yeah, as a writer or just write by hand, stuff like that. Getting, going through manual magazines and just
Yeah.
like the way they did school in the 1950s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Here now I come out here and everybody's just doing all this. You're already supposed to know a lot of this basic stuff.
You have like modules and
Yes,
stuff.
yeah. You're supposed to already be, proficient in Excel, proficient in PowerPoint,
Yeah.
this kind of stuff. And even though I did not completely miss the technology shit, it did not have a lot to actually catch up.
Yeah.
I did have to catch up a lot because the systems have changed so much.
Yeah, you know what they are.
Yeah.
But like you say, they've done their software updates.
Yeah, so I'm sitting there trying to catch up where when you're going through to this master's program, they already expect you to be, even though I was familiar with the concepts, now putting them into application to an actual computer, that's where I lacked. So, Gabrielle, she actually, I went to Northridge first, Cal State Northridge. That was going to go there because I taught the Project Rebound, which is another organization that helps people, get degrees and stuff.
Nice.
And but then she took me to the beach, I think a couple of days later, and one thing I remember vividly is one time when I was being taken to state prison. I remember just seeing that sign, Pepperdine University next right. As you're going down, I'm like, oh man, I've always heard about that university. So now we're going to the beach, and one of my buddies said, hey, why don't you just apply there? And then I'm like, dude, they don't want me there.
Pepperdine,
It's Pepperdine. Yeah. People pay this kind of tuition to get away from people like me, man. So I was like, you should just try it. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. What's funny, we couldn't even get into campus, because they had like the security guards. Like, what are you guys doing here? Yeah, like, what are you guys doing? Like, we kind of just want to see, walk around. Like, you guys can't do that. Like, oh, okay. So I guess it's almost like a little fort.
Yeah.
So I did get I contacted one of the admin people.
I was gonna say, how did you do it? Go online?
Yeah, I went online, and it's actually also the people that I also believe in that God does things for a reason.
Yeah.
I called this person, and she also happens to be Hispanic. The recruit has to be Hispanic. So I'm like, man, just be straight out with me. Do I even have, I sent her my transcripts. Like, do I even have a shot?
Yeah.
Of getting in here?
Yeah.
I'm like, just be real. I don't want to waste my time. Yeah. But she was like, Carlos, you are a very strong candidate.
Awesome. From your credentials?
Yeah, from my grade point. I got good grades in prison.
It's great. So she wasn't looking at you.
She was looking at my transcripts. Yeah.
So then,
yeah. The thing is, there's also a lot of scams in education where kind of like there's courses offered through the mail, but there's some of them they're not accredited. They're not accredited, institutions.
Yeah.
So people might say, "Oh, I come out with a degree," and then they go to an actual place, and they're like, "Dude, these are not." This place is not certified.
Yeah, this is a paid for degree.
So luckily, I did go to an actual university, and so all my stuff was transferable.
Yeah.
So they're like, this is transferable. We recognize every grade, blah blah blah. But it's like, so I had to go through the whole process. You go through an interview process, write an essay, all this kind of stuff.
Oh, so you did the whole.
Yeah.
But I love that, but they weren't looking at. I mean, I've always looked at Pepperdine, like you drove past it. Oh, it's amazing university, but that makes me like it even more because they didn't look at your past. They just, everybody's the same. Yeah. We just want to make sure that you're going to come, commit, and put our teachings to good use.
And I was even more surprised because, I've never really hid the fact that I was incarcerated. And actually, right from the beginning, I told them that.
Yeah.
Right from the beginning, I told them that I was incarcerated, even my classmates.
Yeah.
The second day of school, they told us to bring something that's meaningful to you. I brought my prison ID.
Yeah. And
I showed them to everybody, just so you guys know.
It's out there.
It's out in the open because I don't want to, because.
Got any questions?
Yeah. No, but luckily, the community really embraced me. All my classmates, they were not judgmental at all. My teachers knew my story. And they were all just very open, very giving. So I did get accepted. And so, great, I got accepted. Now, how the hell am I going to pay for this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I made it, but now what?
And is it monthly or do you have to do it yearly?
Oh, you have to pay it per semester, and it's not cheap.
Gee.
It's not cheap, but also just a private university.
Yeah.
So, but I was lucky that
Could you get grants or anything?
no, I got a scholarship.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I got a scholarship thanks to my grade point average. I got a scholarship. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
because you don't think about like, how are you gonna pay for this? Why are you even applying here? You can't even afford it. But no, yeah, I was luckily I was given a scholarship.
That's great.
So yeah, I started going there.
That's great. I don't know if you're into that sort of thing, but it's kind of like manifesting.
Oh yeah.
Like you saw the sign, you just went for it, and everything just fell into place. He was like, I'm gonna work. If I need to work to pay for this, I'll figure it out. And then the universe was like so into you. I'm going here. They just manifested a scholarship.
And I kind of got into that while in prison as well. But my mantra's always like, kind of everything happens for a reason, kind of, even the bad stuff.
Yeah.
I always just tell God, God, whatever happens in my life, even though I might not understand it at the time, let it be in my favor.
Because it is what it is.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how it's gonna.
Yeah, how it actually affects.
It's funny. I was talking to someone the other day on the podcast before the podcast about that. We had a situation here. We was able to remodel our home, which you would say, oh, that was a really good thing. But in order for us to be able to remodel the home, during COVID was washing the floors so much, and I had some soft mats down for my son who was little, and it molded the floor underneath. So when we pulled it up, it was like, oh my God, molded the floor. The floor is throughout the house. It's going to cost so much money. Do you think that's bad? It is what it is. Rings the insurance. It's covered for under the insurance. Well, that's great, you think. We get the house remodeled because we put cheaper floor back down rather than, the expensive one, and could put money elsewhere. So that's great. However, my kid was crawling in mold for a year. So he got mold, which gave him real bad behavioral problems we didn't realize for a couple of years. So we went through that treatment of getting him cleared for mold. He's doing great now. But if we'd looked at any one of those scenarios on their own, you could say, well, that's good, that's bad. There was good and bad, came from all of it. The bad happened to happen first to get the good. So you don't know what's going to be a good outcome and what's going to be a bad outcome, and what that bad is going to lead to in the future. So I just have to say it is what it is. Who knows what it's going to do.
Oh yeah. Even though, for my situation, I look at, granted, I became incarcerated, but through that, I was able to get my education.
Yeah.
Because it actually gave me a place of solitude where I can completely focus.
Yeah.
And really start working on those character defects that you have, those insecurities, and stuff like that, all those bad things from growing up. Because I never thought that I would, in a million years, I never thought I would go to Pepperdine.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
it wasn't your road.
I graduated high school with a 1.3 GPA. I was just the troublemaker. I was just barely graduated, but
I got kicked out 15.
Yeah.
I was working at 15 and a half.
Yeah. So I just never expected that. And then slowly just being in there, and I could actually, your brain is malleable. So then I just started, really looking at how can I start, because I was always the type of guy that was like, oh, I need a teacher for me to learn. But then I'm like, well, I'm not gonna get a teacher here.
Yeah.
And this is the only way. So I had to teach myself, to teach myself. Yeah.
Oh my God. So that's even harder. So not only are you doing the courses inside the old fashioned way, which is actually how I studied, was textbook and pen and make notes and memorize the whole textbook.
Yeah.
And then you're going to pass. But you didn't have then the classes to go to for them to teach you the information. You literally had to memorize the whole textbook.
Yeah, sometimes, just taking, I took a logic class, and oh my, that was a brain twister and a half.
Logic,
yeah. So I'm just trying to make sense, like how does a negative statement make a positive statement? I just can't get it, so you're sitting there and just sometimes like my Sally I would just be staring at this book for like hours, and it'd be like, trying to snap me out of it, like, dude. And then after, like 2 days, oh, I got it. I get it. I get it, but like I said, you don't have that, an instructor.
Then walk you through it.
Walk you through it. You have to sit there and just kind of just have to work the whole problem yourself, And sometimes even, math, math as well, college algebra.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't even do algebra.
Yeah. So you're sitting there, and not having any, because I think the highest math I took in high school was pre-algebra.
Yeah.
Now you're taking an actual college school, and now you're going straight to college algebra.
God, and no one was there to help you.
Yeah. And so you're sitting there just kind of.
Are you allowed calculators? Did I give you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You have to, you buy those through, in certain places they do, in state prison they do. When I started my actual college and work, I started in county.
Yeah.
And in county, they don't allow nothing. Nothing.
Hang on.
In prison, they do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, every county has their own system, and some are more oppressive than others. Some are more oppressive than others, and the one where I was at in that particular time was super oppressive.
So you were like doing all the science on paper?
Yeah, everything.
Like it's an exam. Show me how you got there.
Yeah, exactly. You're sitting there, and you're doing, I think, like for example, like the math equations, you're sitting there just working it out just the long way.
Yeah.
Or your economics, you're taking an economic course and just teaching you this model, and you have to work it out by hand, and you're literally you're sitting there making bar graphs, with pen and paper, and using, like the box of your toothpaste to make a straight line.
For the ruler. Oh my God.
You really have to be creative to make sure you get these, people don't think about that. You're just doing the citations a long way, actually having the book. Yeah. They just have you cite a source. Oh my God. Yeah. Sometimes, it was a full-time job.
Yeah.
It was a full-time job. You wake up, you're just constantly in the books.
And then did you have a job inside as well?
Yes.
What did you do?
I was a peer literacy mentor, which I was a tutor, basically.
Oh, wow.
But it was a program, like I said, even with reentry, it should not be one model fits all. Mm-hmm. And this is what this program was. It's tailor an individual program of education to an individual, because they have mental health problems, they have depression, anxiety. They have, every human is different. They have complex issues. So to put them in a room with 40, 50 people and say you're going to learn like this because everybody else is as well. Yeah, they're not. So then we actually took this individual aside, kind of give them an assessment, and just tailor a program, because adults learn different. So we actually went through this course. They taught us adult learning theories. Yeah, how we can teach different types of adults with different conditions. Yeah, and so we doubled the graduation rate. Once we graduated from the program, we started actually going to work. Yeah, pull out people from their cells and start teaching them algebra, language arts. So we had to do that. We were the first place to have we had ESL classes. I was teaching,
Oh, wow. So you were given what you didn't get?
Yes.
The tutor?
Yes. And I was also doing the college tutoring. Yeah. I was doing college tutoring as well, because by then I was already, I already got my bachelor's. So a lot of the guys were working on their associates and stuff like that. So I was helping them through all those courses and stuff. Yeah. So actually my day started at 5 a.m. Well, actually 4:30 a.m. to be out by 5 to get the classroom ready by 6. And by 10, do that, do my college work. Yeah. And so I'd be in bed by 10, just exhausted.
Oh my goodness.
But that's how you stay out of trouble.
Yeah. You're busy.
Yeah, you keep yourself busy.
You can't get your nose into it. Yeah.
And not only that, but it's also nice to see, there's stories. There's one guy, for example, that everybody just gave up on because, he would study. He was a smart kid. Mm. He was a smart kid, but he was just always, he just running around the yard doing a lot of dumb stuff. But he did qualify to take his GED. And he only had the math one to do, which was the hardest one. Yeah. So so we're like 3 days away from the math, and this guy hadn't showed up for class for like months. And so I would run him to the yard. I'm like, "Hey man, what's going on?" He's like, "Oh, we're just going through it." And you never know, you might say something to a guy that might just snap. Mm. And and then was gay. I just give him a hug. Like, "Hey, dude, I believe in you, bro." That's all I said. I believe in you, bro. And the next day he was in class. He's like, oh, let's do this. Let's go. Let's go. So I did like a crowd session for 3 days of
Just
the
to
whole
get him up to
algebra.
work.
Yeah, of the algebra book. I mean, as he's going into the classroom to take his GED, we're sitting there like shouting formulas, shouting like even equation formulas. And lo and behold, he passed the test. He graduated with his GED.
Oh my God, he just needed someone to
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
him.
just kind of just push him a little bit.
Yeah.
And after that, he just kind of stopped, you know, he started going to more classes. Like, yeah, I just need to start working towards my release now.
That's so lovely because that's just a story of human connection.
And it's not only human connection, but I think it's just the connection that you have because they are your peers. That's why there's like a peer literacy mentor. We uplifted each other.
Yeah.
Where a lot of the times, and this is not for all the bad. I mean, there's some great teachers in the system as well, but there's some that are just kind of going through the motions and just to get a paycheck.
Yeah.
And so they don't really tailor, the program to them. And it's like, look, I'm gonna teach you here. You're you have to be here for this amount of time. You can't talk back. You can't say nothing, and just do what I tell you, or I will write you up. I will do this. I will do that. I will send you the whole, or you do.
Yeah.
So you're being pressured. And some of these guys are like, I'm just gonna sit here. All I'm mandated to do is sit here
And
for 2 hours. And I'm gonna do. Here's your work. Okay, just sit there, just scribble. But then when you connect with the person, let them know, like, look, this is why it benefits you. This is good. Let me teach you this other way.
Yeah.
You understand that? Let me teach you this other way. And once they just start saying, oh, okay, then just start getting it and getting it. And before you know it, they just take off. And some of them were, applying to go to college.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of like, it's a school environment. So if they've come from a school, because as you were saying, talking about they could just sit there and just, I'm only mandated to sit here. It took me back to when I was at school. That probably would have been my mentality. I would have been like, screw you, I'm just going to sit. That's what I did at school. I didn't care. But that connection, if someone had taken the time to connect the dots and be like, look, I can help you get here. I can see you're struggling here, so let me help you out.
Yeah. The ultimate point is like, it's just trying to help each other in different ways.
Yeah.
When we're stuck in the old ways, we think that because, we go and give our friend, let's take him to a party, for example. We think like, oh, we're helping him out. But really, I'm not really helping him, sending you, to take substances and stuff like that. That's not necessarily helping.
That's not.
But now when you're actually taking somebody and teaching them something that he can use to brighten his future, that's completely different.
Yeah.
And just seeing also like, the way it changes the relationship with their family, with the people, and just as you start seeing these small changes. And that's why I think education should be the biggest driver in that place.
Yeah.
And, but unfortunately, like I said, it's a working, you can't change an organization so quickly. That's something that you learn in college as well. An organization changing behavior.
Yeah, you've got to change the behavior. Yes.
So it's you take these you also you have two sides. You have the people that want security, and you have this population. The thing is, let's just see how we can find the middle ground so that we can come back and join. You can't always keep them. You can't keep them locked up forever. No, it's got to be on rehabilitating. Yes. Because you can't keep people locked up forever. And it's normally bad choices at a very young age with an undeveloped brain that will put them there in the first place. If I think back to how I was at 18 and 19, I was a completely different human being, like completely different. So you have got to rehabilitate, because you are going to come back out at already, even if you don't do anything inside, you're going to be a different person anyway. But you still need to come back into a society that's moved on, and you've stood still in a place that hasn't had the same rules. But also, this is something like a connection that I've made. For example, you go in there a certain age, right? Let's say you go in there when you were 16. Yeah. You don't get to mature. Yeah. You're still 16 unless you find somebody that kind of walks you through and tries to help you a little bit. Yeah. You're still going to remain that 16-year-old brain. Yeah. Because there's nothing to help you develop yourself into maturing. Just moving along. Yeah, because everybody here has experiences, school, whatever, war and everything. So, they get life experience. But over here, you're still stuck in the 16, and then you get enough of these 16-year-olds together, and they just maintain them.
Very large 16-year-olds.
Yes, and they turn into huge 16, and then they come back out.
Yeah.
And they can't relate to people their age.
Yeah.
That's why they feel like kind of like immature. So then they go search for a community that's like them, which is obviously, the bad
wrong place to be,
the wrong place to be. So I think now, I mean, there has been a lot of changes now. It unfortunately happened at the very end of my. I would like to say that I was a trailblazer.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a trailblazer. There's just get all these new programs in there.
Did you say it up for them?
Yeah, set it up for them. But I was just like, man, like now we have tablets. Now we have all this. Now we have now they have computers. Now they actually have laptops. People take laptops to sell.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, like this. Crazy.
Can you imagine if you have your toothpaste for your ruler?
yeah, exactly. If we actually had the tools, but now they're also starting to allow a lot more things. It just depends on the different custody levels that you have,
and different prisons, different CEOs.
Oh yeah. Luckily, I wasn't a bad prison, but I was lucky that at the time, though, we did have a very progressive warden.
Yeah.
Like he was all about rehabilitation.
Mm-hmm.
So he started bringing in programs and stuff like that. He brought in college. So that, in the sense, I was lucky that I had this very progressive warden that really did believe in education.
I had that I had one of the dog trainers that was training inside, and she was saying the same thing, that the prisons were different, and one allowed the dog training program to continue as best as they could during COVID. And I was like, oh, why was that? And it was just down to the fact that the person running the prison just believed in it and thought it was necessary. So
yeah, I mean, we did have a situation as well where the progressive warden did allow us actually to go. For example, they would allow me to go to different buildings and hand out education packets while we were, locked up. And they go pick it back up, rate them, and just try to give them comments and stuff like that. So
they still allowed it to.
Yes, and then we had another warden that came in. Nope. He's like, nope. COVID lockdown. Everybody's in there. You guys are spreading it. So.
And now, if you think, looking back now, what we do know, it was fine to go and do that.
Oh yeah. No, now that I look at everything, like, man, you guys were kind of. But I mean, it also did give me some time as well, because I did get a little break, and I was able to actually finish my bachelor's, because now I was, in my. It was just me, me and my toothpaste ruler, just doing work, just sitting there and getting lost. It's funny. What I would always do is just because, I mean, obviously you have, hundreds of people around you in rooms, and even though you're inside, it gets pretty loud. I used to just put my headphones on static, radio static.
Stop the noise.
Just white noise too. And just get lost.
Oh,
the books and reading.
It's funny that you mentioned about the COVID kind of giving you a break, because I kind of felt the same, because my kid was like 1 when it hit, and I was feeling so overwhelmed by, I should be having him in this baby class and doing this social class for him and doing this. And then I'd start putting him in all of these classes. And then when COVID hit and we got locked down, I did kind of think, oh, I don't have to go to another one of those baby classes. I don't want to do another mommy and me. So yeah, it kind of did give you a little bit of a.
It was, but the thing is, there's not everybody needed that. Just because, for example, kids, you see how long just being, locked up in a house.
God, yeah.
The way that it actually, kind of slowed their social skills and all these skills that they learn by being, interacting with people.
Yeah.
Now imagine you take a grown man and you put him in a cage for decades.
Yes.
And then you bring him out and you're like, oh yeah, you're normal now. Go pay bills.
We're finding this. I'm seeing it with the kids at school. I don't think my kid was necessarily too affected by it, because he was 1 and actually he went to daycare at 2. So I think, but some of the other kids at that age, Yeah, they missed a ton of social events on how to
interact.
yeah, don't smack them first.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You know, we're a lot of visual learners. You know,
Yeah.
we see behavior.
See your peers.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you develop. But when you're not seeing nothing, all you're seeing is, you know, the screen and what TikTok teaches you, and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Then we wonder why they have all these kind of erratic behaviors. That's all they connected with for years, for a couple of years. So they were not able to see, you know, normal human beings interacting in a simple manner.
Yeah.
Same thing, you know.
I was going to say same thing in prison. Like you say, with that 16-year-old brain, that's why you stay 16, because you don't really.
And then there's not everybody there is acting civilly, you know. Obviously, you're putting there people that have, you know, negative factors, you know, in their lives and stuff like that. And they kind of feed on each other, you know, and they encourage that.
Yeah.
But there's also then those, you know, like my other workmates who try to do the opposite.
A bit wiser.
Yeah, a bit wiser. Like, here, let me teach you another way.
Figured it out.
Yeah, because I mean, I think from my mentality from day one when I was in there, like, okay, obviously I'm not an escape artist. I'm not gonna escape here.
Yeah.
What's the quickest way out of here?
Yes.
But even through that mentality, that's where rehabilitation came in. Because then I started doing the classes, and then I started, okay, yeah, that's how I used to think. Yeah, that's why I was immature. Yeah. And that's why, you know, I mean, we all have all these childhood traumas and traumas from all sorts of, and we never deal with it. And it's also like going in there and actually start getting help. You know, start mending those damaged relationship with your family and stuff like that. And that's why I think, I mean, it hasn't been easy. You know, being out of there. But I mean, it's also, I would not give it a failure. Yeah.
And did you, when you went to, you know, when you go to board, did you have to go through the therapy sessions and stuff before you go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to go through the whole. Yeah, because you have to give them a reason why, and if well, actually, you can't give them a reason to say no.
Yeah.
So I mean, luckily, you know, you talk to other people that have gone there before, and sometimes you have to even ask write letters to the board of like, what criteria do you guys want us to meet?
Yeah.
You know, to be released. Then you sit that, and then you tailor your parole plans to make sure that every single the issue is addressed. Yeah. I mean, it's intense. It's probably it was tougher than my master's.
Yeah.
I think I had my parole plans were like 120 pages.
Yeah.
Typewritten.
Yeah.
Because I had to really.
On a typewriter?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I had. Oh
God, I mean, that was like when I was a kid. That was still old fashioned.
Yeah. No. Yeah. It's all they sell there. Now they have computers.
Yeah.
Now they have computers, but no. Once I got a hold of the typewriter, man, I put that thing.
You were like, this is like a computer.
Well, the thing is, taking the courses in the county, you have to do it by hand.
Yeah.
So that was a big upgrade. Like, oh my goodness, this is great.
Yeah.
And I think it also kind of helped my motor skills, my typing skills, because you never know how difficult, how valuable they are once you come out here. I mean, you see some of these kids on their phones, they type like 1,000, like, how did drums? What?
No,
you know, like with 2 thumbs, I could type faster than me with all 10 fingers.
Yeah.
You know, but all those little skills, they do kind of help once you come out here. It's not really too widely available. I mean, they do have some classes, but unfortunately, they're just not big enough. I think it took me 3 years to get into any sort of recovery class. Yeah. I was on the waiting list for 3 years.
So what's a recovery class?
For example, you get to go to like Narcotics Anonymous.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, fatherless fathers, or just those type of classes.
Yeah.
I think that there's a big waiting list.
Yeah.
There's a big waiting list, and when you're a lifer, you always fall at the bottom of the pile because the people that are getting out sooner, they need it. They say, no, well, you have a long sentence. Yeah. So you're not very important.
I see the logic. But...
Yeah. And the thing is, then before you know, you're going to board. Things change to go to board. And they're kind of telling you, well, why do you don't have these classes?
I've tried.
But I
It's like
s-
the NHS. I kept getting bumped.
but sometimes you do have to take it upon yourself and find the way, because there are classes. For example, I took some classes over the mail for that.
After that.
Yes, so there was, for example, like domestic violence. I took a domestic violence class. So they will give you the curriculum, you send in the answers, and they send you a certificate. And so then you can present that to the board.
Oh, yeah.
Like that is, but it's sometimes you just have to, like I said,
Yeah.
you can't give them the excuse to say
Yeah.
no, because I already know that telling them, well, I'm on the waiting list is not gonna work.
Yeah, because they know that there's these classes that
Yes.
you could have done.
That you could have done, yes.
Yeah.
So then I just did them all, and they said, okay, yeah, you have this, you have this.
That's good.
Those were the factors as the reason why you went in.
Yeah.
Looks like you've addressed them.
Yeah.
Okay, so then now you can.
Yeah.
Go. So yeah,
I've had that as well. From like, you have to understand why it happened, where the root of it came to get to where you got to it. And once you understand that, well, okay, you've addressed it.
Yeah.
You get it.
It's my crime did not start that day.
Yeah.
It happened, way, way long ago, the
Yeah,
behaviors, models,
Yeah.
associations, and all that kind of stuff. And you have to recognize, you have to let them know that you understand,
Yes.
and that in no way, shape, or form you are the victim.
Yeah.
No, you were, you were an oppressor.
You were shaped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to recognize that you did something bad. But now, what are you going to do so you don't do that anymore?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I know they have a tough job to do. They do have a very tough job.
And some people just don't get it.
Well, I think it's just society is not really realistic in the fact that there are going to be people that don't make it.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's the one person that doesn't make it spoils it for everybody. And the
Yeah.
thing is, with news, they'll just blow it up.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They'll
Because
just,
that's what sells the paper.
yeah, it's fear.
Clickbait. Yeah.
Yeah, fear. So yeah, and then then they start implementing things that that were good for us, and they take them out. They take them out. They start
Oh, you've too much leeway. Let's pull back on that.
yes,
Yeah.
and then that messes up the opportunity for
The ones that are doing good.
for everybody.
Yeah.
For example, like the person that started that program, told the pillars and the Mr. Giles. That dude is a saint. That dude is a saint just because he genuinely cared about people. But
What's his name?
Mr. Giles.
John.
James Giles. The thing is, I was in Susanville. And so there is a very different culture from him because he's very liberal, very progressive. He very religious. He just wants to help his fellow man, and that's not the culture there from the people on the outside. On the outside, these guys are felons, don't give them nothing.
Yeah.
And so when they would see him actually try to start these classes and help him out, he started getting pushed back until he eventually got fired.
Why?
Because so he had computer access, right?
Yeah.
So we needed to make those packets.
Yeah.
And you can't make them manually because it's going to take forever.
Yeah.
So Mr. Giles allowed me and my co-workers to have access to this computer to make those packets. But I mean, he did it correctly. He was always there monitoring us.
Yeah.
And he also had the camera up there to make sure that we did not open the internet or do something bad. And you could clearly see what we were working on. Well, but the thing is, that was enough of an excuse for somebody to call him in. They called him in, and the thing is, he's the one that started this program, and he's the one that started doubling the graduation rates and just see if people get ahead. But in that time, that's when the milestone things were hot. So for every person that earns their GED, that's 6 months less. That's 6 months less that somebody stays in there. So
Facility.
That's less. That's less job security.
Yeah.
So they decided to just stonewall us for everything.
Yeah.
There were.
That's where the bureaucracy.
Yeah, there were. Even those some officers were great. They would allow us. As soon as they would see us, oh, it's you, Simental, come here. All right, what cell you want? I want something. Like 4 or 5 cells just opened.
Yeah.
And they would just go in there and study.
Yeah.
But there's some CEOs that would just be like, nope. Shut the door and like, we're not coming in here. Not on my shift.
Yeah.
And you just have to be like, okay, sir, thank you. You can't just sit there and whine or
No, I
no,
don't care about that.
yeah. So I just thank you, turn around, try some other time when they're not here.
Oh, that sucks, man.
Yeah, so I said it's just
It's bureaucracy, it's personality, it's
oh
red tape. There's so many factors that it's like a
yeah.
maze where you're bumping into walls.
Yeah, the thing is, I do understand sometimes. I mean, a lot of the time that comes either from an experience or it was taught. So when some of these guys, they maybe got taken advantage of by inmates,
Yeah,
and they developed a mentality, or they were taught by somebody else.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but then there's still those guys. I mean, there's a lot of really good CEOs. I mean,
Yeah,
there's guys that actually do want to make a difference. Those are the guys that they'll pop the doors for you.
yeah.
What do you need? How can hey, can I say no? We're not supposed to be out, but can I have this guy out for an hour? He's
Yeah.
got a test tomorrow. Yeah, no problem.
And like you say, the ones that don't, you don't know their reasons for why. Like you said, they
Yeah.
could have been stung in the past,
Yeah.
or they're new. They haven't got as much time to know what they can and can't get away with. Yeah.
And I think sometimes I think the change came about slightly too drastically for a lot of this stuff because CDCR was so oppressed for
Yeah.
decades. It was just so oppressive. And then you bring this major change.
Yeah.
Like, and these guys are like, I mean, you're also looking into that from the CEOs from like, oh, this is a bit extreme, but
Yeah.
I think can you guys maybe prepare us for
Yeah,
this?
because they're not used to it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, by the way, from June 1st, blah, blah, you guys do this now. Like, hold on, but we've been doing all this for.
And I like the way we've been doing all this.
Yeah, why are you guys messing? That's when I watch Sports Center.
True.
That's why you guys messing with us.
Yeah.
So,
It's change of behavior. You're like,
Yeah.
you're asking me to change my behavior and I'm feeling scared.
but the thing is, and they're not. It's a lot of the times the way you communicate the changes. I don't think they were told the benefits
Yeah.
that would come out
Yeah.
of this. All they're being told is, you're doing this now. And
Yeah.
of course, they always just look at the negatives. They look at the biggest knuckleheads in the yard, like, man, you think you gotta change that guy? You think you gotta change that guy? All this kind of stuff, and so like, no, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do it. And then, for example, that's one of the reasons also why Mr. Giles got a lot of flack because he was actually enforcing the policies and stuff like that. Like, no, the state of California
Says you need
says you need to do this.
Oh, yeah, he's
This is
making
my job.
enemies on the way.
Oh, he made a lot of enemies.
But you need people like that.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, he always wanted to do the right thing.
Yeah. His heart was in the right place.
Yes, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's like it's manifesting. God puts these wonderful people in your life. I mean,
For
just
a reason.
for a reason. And James Giles was one that was just, like I said, he's a superhuman. One of the, and also the people from Homeboy, like the Todd and Trey, just super amazing, smart people. Sheila, just these. That's what I'm saying. You have to build. You can build your environment.
Yeah. Because you attract them.
Well, yeah. You mean that's what I'm saying. Like now that I'm an adult, I know that I can build my environment. And it's not easy. You have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you think I felt going to Pepperdine? I mean,
Right.
I'm going there with billionaire kids and princesses and all this kind of stuff. And say like, oh my god, like it was, but.
I would be nervous.
Yeah, I was nervous. Felt a bit of an imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you would have that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but then you start, in a way, you start matching their brain capacity, contributing to as much as they do.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, well, now I know it. Maybe they sometimes maybe they just think maybe you're a cherry case.
Yeah.
Because no, this yeah. But then when you actually start seeing your intellect, like, oh my god, this guy's
he has got.
Yeah, no, there's something going on up there.
Yeah.
So it's it's been, and that's what I want to be able to communicate to other guys. Do not be afraid of being uncomfortable. There's gonna be people that they're not gonna like you.
And you just have to.
Yeah, and you're just okay, great. You don't like me, that's awesome. Continue my life.
Yeah.
And continue my life, and yeah, it was hard to acclimatize, especially coming so soon.
Yeah.
In a way, I almost wished I would have waited 1 year. just to be more acclimatized to
Yeah.
the actual thing.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just glad it's over and done with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ripped Band-Aid
I
off.
mean, even though I graduated, there were times I didn't know if I was going to make it.
And you don't know if you'd waited a year, what would have
Yeah, what would have happened?
roadblocks would have popped into your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a very grueling program, but luckily, like I said, I had the right people, had the right support,
Yeah.
and just the right mentality.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I still keep in contact with, my cellies and stuff like that in there. And it's just them hearing my story, because usually the story is, oh, so-and-so came back.
Right.
Oh, you heard of so-and-so? Yeah, he's back.
back.
He's back. You're like, oh, man, but when they're talking to you, when you actually pick up the phone, they're like, oh, man, they're still out there.
You're not coming back?
Yeah. Oh, man, you're good with it? Yeah, they're doing this, doing that. And it inspires them.
Yeah.
Because, like, man, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
He was like, no more like, man, like, I mean, shit's rough out here, man. I was like, bills, everything.
It's a different rough, but don't think it's an easy rough.
Yeah, I mean, but it's better than being in there.
Yeah.
It's better than being in there, I'll tell you that much. I mean, these are good problems.
Yeah.
These are good problems to have.
It's good for them to hear that, because then they know what they need to prepare themselves.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's why I tell them, at the end, get ready to pay insurance. At the end, insurance, car.
It's complicated.
House.
I know from moving from England to here, it's complicated.
Oh, I mean,
America is not straightforward.
No.
It's not straightforward.
It's very, because, I mean, because I was being raised in Mexico, and coming over here is just completely different.
Yeah.
And even as an adult, when I've gone visiting, like, you go over there and everything's just like way more relaxed,
easier.
It
works.
Yeah, and here, like, if you have to have a schedule for every single minute of your day, it's crazy that you have to say, okay, I'm gonna sleep from this to this. Yeah. Okay, then from this to this, this to this, 10 minutes to shower.
Yeah.
This and that, and you better be there, because if you're 5 minutes late, I'm gonna catch traffic.
Yeah.
Then
I'm gonna catch the traffic, especially if you're going up to Santa Clarita or back again. That's the worst place for traffic.
I've been driving Orange County for.
Oh, that's the same as well. You get traffic coming back from there.
Yeah, well, I think the other day I came and it took me 3 hours.
By Long Beach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just took the worst drive ever, the whole 405 home from South LA, all the way up here. You're just thinking like, man, but I'm like, at the same time, you're just saying they're just being miserable, and it's like, what would I be doing right now?
Exactly.
There's count time, so everybody's in their cell. I mean, if you're lucky, the cable hasn't gone out, so you'll be able to watch TV or something.
Let me put this into perspective. Yeah. Let me just switch a podcast on.
Yeah. I mean, and now actually with the tablets, now that you do have access to that kind of stuff. I mean, because you told me about literature. I was a big literature nut in there. And I loved classics.
And could you get like audio books, or was it paper books?
Well, now you can have audiobooks. Now that they have the tablets.
I'm dyslexic. I would have been like, oh.
Well, like I said, but then you trained yourself.
Yeah.
Because I was never a reader. I mean, when in high school, you get those 80-page books. Like, oh, no, 80 pages. Jeez, who the hell has time for this? Yeah. But then in there, you start, reading, developing. It's almost like it is. I would say it's almost like a gift.
Yeah.
To be able to sit there and just read, and before you know it, you're sitting there, you're going through a 1,000-page book, and you're
no distractions.
Yeah, you don't want it to end.
Yeah.
Like sometimes being like, oh man, I only have 200 pages left in this book. Yeah. Why?
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, and luckily I needed that place to be able to start getting into literature and start really getting, like I said, I love the classic. I love old Russian. Dostoevsky, Tolstoy. They're the best. I think my favorite novel is The Brothers Karamazov.
What's it called?
The Brothers, the Karamazov. Yes, it's really good. Really, it kind of also took me through like the legal battles that I did, because I actually have fought my case for 7 years. It was a very drawn, long process where I had to learn the law.
Yeah.
Because before you know it, sometimes people might not have your best interest in mind.
Yeah.
And depending on another human being, it's not.
And their perspective.
Yes. And just, God did humble me by putting me in that place.
Yeah.
But I also believe, like I said, he did provide a way out.
Yeah.
Because he did give me kind of like the knowledge, to actually start studying the law and start comprehending it, and to know why I was actually I was overcharged.
Yeah.
And to say that I had to teach my lawyer the law,
Yeah.
it's insane. And the thing is,
That's scary.
most of the time, they just think you're nuts, right? Because they always think that, oh, you're just an
Well, I
inmate.
know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're just an inmate. What education do you have?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, well, the thing is, I have nothing but time in here.
Yeah. And a motivation that you
Yeah,
don't have.
exactly. Because I mean, they look at you and they only have certain amount of hours.
Yeah.
They're not going to sit there and read case law after
Yeah.
case law after case law.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. In my cell, because we didn't have computers, I used to have stacks.
Yeah.
Case law like this big, stacks and stacks and stacks.
Because they just allow you to have it.
Yeah.
It's the only thing
Because
they do allow you to have it.
Yeah, it's only because it's legal.
Yeah.
But it's legal. So I would make these, start reading all this case laws. I would write my lawyer these like 50-page letters. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, this is, this is.
We do your job for you.
Yeah. You know what? Because actually, I went to trial and I lost. I went to trial and lost every single charge. And I had to pay an attorney.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be okay because you have this paid attorney, and he kind of just didn't do nothing.
Oh my God.
He's just like, okay, yeah, you lost. You're about to be put in there and never see the light of day again. Life without parole.
Yeah, you're like, listen, I get I've done something wrong, but charge me to what I've done wrong.
Yes. And that's where you have us unconstitutional event statute. That's a whole other topic. But just sit there and just really learn the law, and then just knowing the tactics of the district attorney, and just put it to look, this is what she's doing, and this is wrong. This is what you have to tell the judge.
Yeah.
So now I'm teaching the law to my lawyer, the district attorney, and the judge.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because it's very, very complicated. Just sit there, just letter after letter. And I was very fortunate that there were charges dropped right before I got sentenced. After I already had lost trial.
Yeah.
I was already half found guilty. But luckily, you're able to do a motion to lessen the charges if they are correct. And by the end of the right before I got sentenced, that we had cornered the district attorney in a spot where we were just putting all her mistakes, that she did not even reply to her last brief. She's like, okay.
I can't have this.
Yeah, it's like, man, you guys got me.
But how many people don't know who can't do that, and they just
to me, it just kind of goes back to why do it in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those wasted resources going back to court, back and forth, being years in that place, fighting this case, just because. I mean, you also see how the district attorneys their performance is based on the amount of people they put away, and the amount of years.
I was about to say, what's the driving factor for that to happen?
But that's also kind of, but they're supposed to be the gatekeepers. They're supposed to be the most ethical individuals in the land. You can trust that they're going to do the right thing, and the fact that they misconstrued the law to give a longer sentence to somebody so they can look better
on a piece of paper.
On a piece of paper, and get that next position. So you're building this kind of a system that's based on merit, and to earn that merit by putting people away.
Yeah.
And
if you want to get your promotion, I need to see X amount of.
I don't know if you ever read the book the Lincoln Lawyer.
That's not from the show.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I'm watching the Lincoln Lawyer.
Yes. Well, in the first book, I think he's married. One guy's a lawyer. He's married to a district attorney.
Right. Yeah.
And they said they had to get a divorce, because it was just coming home from work like, oh, what'd you do today, honey? Oh, I got an attempted murder dropped, and this guy's only doing 3 years. What about you? Oh, I gave a guy 10 years for stealing a car stereo.
Because I need to get my higher.
Yeah, exactly. So we were like, wow, and that is a kind of a.
You're literally doing what I'm fighting against.
Playing with people's lives. I mean, in time, and the resources. I mean, just seeing the amount of resources that goes into keeping a person in there.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, let's say it takes more than $100,000 to keep a person in there every year. But what do you expect to get from those $100,000 if you're a taxpayer?
Yeah.
You would expect, if I'm going to spend $100,000 on a car, I expect,
the best car.
The best car, obviously. But then if somebody comes out of okay, you paid $100,000 and they hand you a Ford Taurus. That 95 Ford Taurus is going to be like That's not $100,000
Yeah,
worth.
exactly.
So I think it's also a time for individuals to start trying to get their money's worth.
Yeah.
Make sure that if we're going to pay these large sums of money to keep somebody there, let's make sure that they come out
Yeah.
rehabilitated.
Yeah. So they
You know?
can come out
Yeah.
and
That's also a word, a problem that I have with the word with rehabilitation, because it has a re in front of it, meaning that at some point they knew, but sometimes they don't.
Yeah, you're right.
They don't.
A bit like that.
Yeah, they don't. You have to teach these skills from the beginning. It's just kind of saying, like, no, society has done you right this whole time,
Yeah.
and you chose to do wrong. Sometimes it's not the case.
Yeah.
Sometimes, they never had, they did not have the ability, they were not given that ability to learn those skills.
Yeah.
So now instead of, rehabilitate, no, we're going to have to habilitate. Yes. Learn. This is going to be the first time for them learning these skills. So I think it's kind of I have a problem with that, because for me, I did have to be rehabilitated. I did.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't have that ability to really. They were not given the sources, for poverty, a broken home, foster homes, all these things. So they never had that learning experience.
Yeah.
But now that we know this, now we have to start. Some guys you almost got to take them by the hand.
Yeah.
Because some of these kids, especially some of these kids coming from like South America, stuff like that. These kids, some of them don't have, they never had a home. They've been in the streets their whole lives or whatever, and they come out here and they're incarcerated, and they're expecting them. Some of them don't even know how to read and write. And especially also like for the people from other countries that come out here. Imagine going to the parole board and you don't speak English and there's no resources for you.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, I'm lucky that I'm bilingual, so I was able to get all those resources, or at least ask for them. What about these guys that don't?
Yeah.
Where do they turn to? And so a lot of them, I actually helped them put the parole plans together and translated them in English for them. But I'm like, why isn't there some?
Why isn't that being taught? And I mean, why?
I just have somebody there.
They have a lot of time inside to learn another language. So why don't we put a program in to actually set them up to send them back out into an English-speaking country?
Well, just look at the amount of resources that there are to put you away.
Yeah.
But in comparison, to put you back out, there's nowhere in comparison. Yeah. There's nowhere in comparison. They don't go through the training to keep you out. If that same training was put in getting people out, things would be a lot different. And I think we can see that in other countries. Especially in Europe, how they have these models. I mean, and now they're started to implement them a little bit here in California. They were very progressive, but I just think there's
is it Australia put a lot into their programs?
Yeah, and make everything less restrictive, because I think I could have actually came out of county jail with my bachelor's, but I had to stop taking classes because they would not provide me a proctor. The county.
What's a proctor?
Somebody that sees you take your test to make sure that you're not cheating.
Oh.
And it could be anybody employed by the institution.
So it was easy.
Yeah. But nobody would do it there for me.
Oh, why was that? The CEO?
Well, yeah, the CEOs or even the teachers. Some of the teachers there. There's like, no, we're high school teachers. We're not college teachers, so we're not going to do that. And it's outside the scope of work.
Yeah.
I did have one teacher that actually, he was kind of doing it on the down low. Do it on the down low. Like, I'll proctor you. I'll sign up for the test. Yeah. So, but I mean, why have these barriers?
Yeah.
Why have these barriers when you want people to come out here, and start doing good? I mean, you talk about it from an economic point of view, increase our GDP. You need productive members of society to
come
this.
back out and do it. Yeah.
But if they don't, well, then how are we going to do this? And now, let's just go into AI. Now we're going to have AI. That's the wormhole.
God, yeah.
But actually, even in college right now, they're teaching us more how to work with AI.
Yeah.
And that's
here, so
it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and it's just getting scarier by the day.
Yeah.
It's getting scarier by the day. So pretty soon, most of these jobs are going to be
automated.
Mhm. But it's what are we going to do with our population now to have the meeting? And I think education is there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if now, for example, you know, that's why not everybody's educated, right? Because we need all this basic stuff. We need people to do lawns, all that kind of stuff, basic workers. But now that this taken care of, now that can liberate more human power
Yeah.
to reach higher pursuits.
Yeah.
Instead of just having a bunch of people living on universal income, not doing nothing.
Yeah.
And I think they need to start setting up that model now. And the one place they can test it is in prisons.
Yes. That'd
You
be a
know?
great place to test it.
Yeah, I mean, just take a population and just flood it with knowledge.
Yeah.
And I mean, not everybody, like I said, not everybody's going to take it.
Yeah.
People are going to manipulate it.
Yeah.
People are going to abuse it. And that's with everything. That's human nature.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to these type of topics, people expect perfection.
Yeah.
100% perfection.
Yeah.
And where can you get it? You can't get it from anywhere.
Can't get it from anywhere. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
We're all different. And there is always going to be bad apples.
Yes. And that's why we need to be more patient.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just political.
Yeah.
It's a moneymaker. So there's just too many influences working in the background.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, shadows. But I think it does need people, you know, like yourself, pushing back, you know, getting these stories out.
Yeah.
You know, so people can understand, you know, what goes in there. There's a whole different side.
See, no one hears back because we only hear about what's on the news. But I mean, how many in a normal person's average day life, how many people know someone's been to prison? Especially in certain communities, none. So then you don't ever hear the other side of the coin. You're only being spoon-fed what they want you to know.
Especially, like, for example, every time there's a stabbing, it's on the news. Yeah. It's on the news nationwide.
Yeah.
You know, California stabbing. But why don't they ever put the graduating class from college?
Exactly.
Yeah, what are they going to, like all those guys in Lancaster, you know, graduated, you know, from Cal State LA.
Oh, yeah.
You know, why don't they have that?
They don't have that.
Yeah.
If you're on TikTok, you get it, or Instagram.
Yeah, but why not in, you know, national headlines?
Exactly.
You know, why not put it there? No, they always just want the negative. The negative. And it's those negative factors that anything, the good that's come,
it's going to be overseen.
They take it away. It's like, oh, we tried. Yeah. It's almost like, I think for you know, criminal justice reform, I think they're addressing the wrong areas. Yeah. That's, you know, that's being shown. I mean, you can just tell, for example, life recidivism rates. And why is the recidivism rate so low? Because we are forced to go through these rehabilitative classes to get this outdate. Yeah. That's why, you know. But all these other guys, they don't need to do that. They don't take those classes, or you don't give them that incentive. Yeah. And now you're taking away those incentives again. And so people just might be like, no, I don't need to. Why do I need to take these classes?
Why do I need to do it? I don't. It's hard.
Yeah, exactly. And instead of what they should be already kind of tailoring them to when they come out, why not come out with a job? Yeah. Why not? They have all those resources in there. Purpose. Yeah. But it's just the resource allocation.
You're not the first one to say that, because I had someone on the other day and he did loads of courses and I was like, oh, well, how was that? To set you up for when you came out? He's like, no, not really.
Oh, they don't. I mean, I was washing dishes with a bachelor's degree.
Yeah. You know, he's like, he had like 3 degrees. He was like, no, it didn't do anything. It was like psychology and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it doesn't. I mean, it's a foundation. I mean, what it did do with me is set me up so I could go to get my master's too.
Yeah, he said the same. He wanted to do it was a firefighter's course, and that but he had like 3 of them. Yeah. 2 were useless.
Well, luckily for me at the time, I could still apply milestones towards that's why I was able to get out sooner than expected. But then now that's no longer the case for lifers. They don't even give that to them anymore.
Why?
There was a lawsuit by somebody saying that Prop 57 excluded lifers, and the case just went before the Court of Appeals, and the Court of Appeals affirmed. So now, like, because there was a bunch of individuals that through milestones, you know, their dates got lowered. Yeah. But then now that this lawsuit went in and it got affirmed, they say no, but people have to do 85% of their lifers that do 85%
Yeah.
of their sentence. No milestones, no nothing.
It's like mentally, that will make you feel, well, what's the fucking point?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, once they started giving those milestones, then everybody wanted to take courses. And I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
and a lot of the times, I mean, I even say it for myself. Initially, I'm like, hell yeah, time off. I don't care if I get rehabilitated or not.
Yes.
But then
You can't help but be rehabilitated.
yeah,
if
you can't
do it
you
right.
can't help but learn.
Yeah.
You can't help but learn.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah, you can't help but learn. Like, oh, okay. And I just started seeing it and just started doing things together. Like, okay, maybe if I want to come back, maybe I want to do this because this is what I was doing. Just start making those
And
connections.
it felt good.
And it feels good to see, have that piece of paper
Yeah.
slide under your door when you see your date changed by like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, when you get a degree, you know, for 6 months.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that's like, you know, that's what you need. You need to give that incentive.
That incentive to get
But
there.
if you don't have that incentive, then people don't care.
No.
People don't care. You know, they're just gonna be like, why do all this? It's regardless of what I do, it's not gonna matter.
That's so sad. But it was kind of on the flip side, the people outside watching the news would have seen that and gone, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think but it's just the bureaucracy, the money behind it, all this kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
I'm still hopeful. I still believe in humanity.
Yeah, me too. And I'm glad that we're doing more of these stories. And thank you for coming on and sharing so much because it is education. I'm learning so much.
Oh, it's the thing is you have to. Different people have different experiences.
Mm.
So my experience was not necessarily like, you know, like all the other people that you have on here before. So you just take them all, you know, and you know, then you can start.
They're similar, but
yeah,
like you say, everyone has been different, and some have been in the same prison with each other at the same time, and their stories completely separate.
Oh yeah,
similar, but you know.
Yeah, it's just maybe the let's just say the weather and stuff for the environment might be the same.
Yeah.
But their lives are completely different.
Yeah.
And that's the way I mean, just look, for example, I just look at my life sometimes and I look at the guys that are there just not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
We live even though we could be in the next cells right next to each other. We live completely different lives.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're all still wearing the same shirt. Yeah. We're all treated the same.
Yeah.
And
just having a different experience.
Yeah, but it was, like I said, it was rough, but it was also I got to learn a lot about myself. Yeah. I needed that also because coming out of I was in the Marine Corps. I did 2 combat tours.
Right.
So coming out of that, you know, straight back, I did not have any of that decompression. Yeah. And so that's also some of this, look at some of these guys, and they're basically in a war zone.
Yeah.
In South LA, you know, because they're traumatized, you know, by the dysfunctional families, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they never get any treatment. That's the connections that I have with them. And it's not until you actually start dealing with those issues. Yeah. Which is rough. It's rough to admit that you need help. Yeah. I never thought I was going to be that. Just like, oh, that crazy vet. Yeah, you know, the crazy vet, you know, that's always sitting there screaming and angry at the world. But I also know that maybe that person did not reach out. Yeah. To get help.
To get the help.
Yeah. And I know that it was just, all those things were contributing factors for me to land in that place. Yeah. And now I need to address them so to not land. Yeah. In those type of places. Yeah. So it's very complex. So you can't put, you know, thousands of people in a place like you're all gonna follow this criteria.
The same, yeah.
And you're all gonna come out great.
Like this.
Yeah, you're all gonna come out like this. It's not a machine. Yeah. Or it's not a factory. Yeah. And I think it's really tailoring every single thing to an actual individual. Yeah. And I think even more cost effective. You need somebody sometimes to listen. Yeah. To listen, but you also need the right people, because there's also people that are going to be manipulators and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But there's always going to be that.
That's always going to be someone like that.
Yes.
But the greater good would be more beneficial.
Yes. And California is leading the way. I mean, with everything that being in one of the most oppressed prisons in the nation. Yeah. And what we were able to accomplish with very, very little resources. Yeah. I mean, I can only imagine that we have like a lot more resources, what we can do. And I know they're doing a lot of that more stuff in more lower level prisons, because I never went below a certain level.
Yeah.
But now when you get to like a level 1 or a level 2,
Yeah.
they have a lot more. I mean,
Things like the caravan.
yeah. There's places where people think like, man, like going there's like a college campus.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Like, oh yeah, like no, yeah, like
That wasn't my experience.
Yeah, you have like a kid on your door and all this kind of stuff. They have bikes on the yard.
Yeah.
Like,
You're like, what?
must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice. We got lucky. We got shoes.
Yeah.
We got boots. Yeah. So but it's nice that the other places are doing that.
Yeah.
But now it's not just, but also now having the resources once they come out here.
Yes.
It's still. I mean, it's not only the work you do in there, but also what's going to be available when you come out here. Because over here, you're kind of like expected just to figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're out here. Yep.
No, I'm glad you found the help, but yeah.
Yeah, mostly, yep, figure it out.
Yeah.
It's not my problem. You have
figure out with all the stresses, but then don't do what you did before.
Yeah. Yeah, don't go back to
Don't go back to the way that you
even though this is your only network.
Yeah.
Don't go back to it.
Yeah. That mindset that's don't do it.
Yeah. But we're not going to help you.
Yeah.
But we're not going to help you.
Yeah.
So you're on your own, but just make sure you don't get arrested. I'll be back in 30 days to piss test you.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. Yeah, $200. This is your game buddy.
Crazy that it's still $200.
Yeah. Yeah.
They spend $200 for like 20 years.
Some people actually don't even, especially coming up all the way up from, Susanville, some people could not even afford a bus ticket. They would have to, family put in it. I think there was some other fund that would
get them from the prison to home.
Yes.
Thanks to my $200. That's
by the way, you're not gonna eat.
Yeah.
Find yourself a meal somehow. Yeah.
Don't steal.
Yeah, but don't steal.
Yeah.
We're not gonna give you clothes to come out. We'll have donations, but don't steal.
Yeah.
So
you're basically homeless unless you've got someone.
Yeah. Luckily, there's good organizations too, like ARC. They also have like a drive home program. That's also been cool that I've seen. They go and they bring the guy out, they buy him clothes, they feed him. Yeah, it's such a cool thing because there's people that need them.
Yeah.
People that genuinely need it, because those $200 need to be spent elsewhere. Yeah. You're just getting your toiletries. $200. I mean, I can't even buy my own toiletries.
Because you'll return back to where you committed the crime, and then you have to stay in the halfway house. So if your family say you committed a crime away from you, screwed.
Yeah.
You're literally homeless.
Yes. And I was living in Washington. I'm not even from California.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. I was living in Washington when I got arrested. So you're just coming out here, like, I'm in a new city. Yeah. I mean, I was stationed in Tornado Palms, so I knew about California and stuff like that, but I lived 100% in LA, 24/7. So just coming out here is like, man, I'm a country.
Different.
Yeah, this is way different than anything else. So you're just getting acclimatized to the city.
Californians are strange.
Oh, but where else would you want to be?
I know. The weather. It is a breed of its own, but the weather. Yeah. Someone said, I can't remember where I heard this once, but someone said if you did like pick California up and like just shake it out, the ones that stayed, everyone would fall out because it's like a place of nomads.
Yeah.
No one really comes from California. Well, everyone just comes to California.
Well, now everybody's coming out of California.
Yeah.
Because now it was from Idaho, and man, the amount of Californians that moved there.
Oh, my friend went to Nashville, and he said you just have to switch out your number plate really quickly, because if not, everyone hates you because you have a California number plate.
Oh yeah,
switch that out.
Oh yeah, no, it's when I lived there, like back in the early 2000s, there was just these massive fields, potatoes, and now all those are just subdivisions, home after home.
Yeah.
And that amount of construction that's going on where my brother lives in Boise. Oh my goodness, there's more construction going on there probably than here in California.
That's crazy.
And everybody's just
everyone's flooding out to get cheaper, more land.
Well, even people like myself, even people once they're done with their parole here, they leave.
Yeah.
They don't want to take that chance to be in a place where basically I think I heard this on this podcast the other day. Like on the average, the average human commits 5 felonies a day.
Oh shit.
Yeah, just for whatever turn signal, aggressive,
It's
driving.
there's just not
Too many.
nanny state, but
Yeah,
yeah.
they could basically, so somebody will kind of like follow you along, you could just be arrested for this.
I actually got a ticket right by Pepperdine. That's funny you should say
Yeah.
that. I did. Well, I didn't. I thanked him. I'll tell you the story first. So as you come down, you've got Pepperdine on your right. You're going to go into like Malibu Mart. At a certain time, you can't do the left
Yeah.
time of day. Well, I didn't, look, it was early in the morning. So I did the left. I mean, he wasn't hiding himself. It was
Yeah.
a clear cop right there, but I did the left anyway. So he followed me down. And as soon as I pulled over, I realized what I'd done. I was like, oh no, I shouldn't have come down here, whatever. So I suppose he thought, well, because she's being honest, he went to me, okay, so what I'll do is I won't give you a citation. So I wouldn't get any points. He's like, I'm just going to give you the fine. And I was like, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much. Then I opened the fine. It was like something ridiculous, like $350. I was like, I thanked him for this. Oh my God.
Yeah. Here's my money.
So yeah, he was like, I won't citate you here, but you do need to pay the fine. So I was like, yeah, thanks for no points. And I was like, what? You charged me how much?
Yeah, kind of like
That's crazy.
there's just so many statues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That people forget about. And then before you know it, you could just be doing something like, yeah, you're guilty for this.
Yeah.
Guilty for that. And you might just have that bad luck to have that overzealous prosecutor.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm going to make an example out of this. I'm going to make this jaywalking, something much higher than it actually is.
When I first moved here, I was watching a high-speed police chase or whatever. I'm like, why is he going like the speed limit? And he's stopping at the red light.
Yeah.
And someone was like, because he's going to get caught for his crime.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to get caught for the other crimes. When
yeah, no, they just start stacking them before you know it.
So he's going to stop at the stoplight, and he's going to stop at like the stop sign and the red light because there wasn't enough police behind him or something. So like, yeah,
I think for me, when I first got arrested, I think they got my charge sheet and it was just like, but what? Like, yeah, I was like, what? I did all this?
Yeah.
How?
He's like, what is this law?
Yeah,
I didn't even know there was this.
Yeah, and it's not until you actually start researching the law and you actually start taking stuff out. But if you don't fight it,
you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know.
So what? The box where you can park in the middle, the two yellow lines you can park in the middle. I didn't know that you're not allowed to do a U-turn when those are in, because it's like a residential. So I did a U-turn once and a police officer pulled me over. He let me off, thankfully, because he had eyes English. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But he was like, yeah, you can't when you see these tracks, you can't make a U-turn because I suppose that's where people can park to do their deliveries and stuff. So it makes sense, but I didn't know that.
Yeah, we don't have the driver's handbook.
Right.
You know, stored in my brain.
Exactly. Yeah. I know I did the test and everything, but yeah, like you say, and you only get tested on a certain amount of rules. So that one clearly wasn't in there.
Yeah, I know there's just too many laws. I think there's going to have to be a time where we actually start taking.
Is this one necessary?
Yeah, is this one really necessary? Yeah. The thing is, once again, it comes down to America's every law that's passed, it has the name of a politician or something.
So then it has like a
stamp.
Anchor.
Yeah. Now they can put that in the resume. I passed such and such law for this. I passed such and such law for that.
So them and their family are not going to want to say, bye, yeah, we can just scrap his name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, now they can start getting higher political. It's a whole system that's...
So I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's a snowball. Once you start,
unpacking it.
Knowledge is power, but it's also burdensome.
Yeah.
Once you start going like, oh my God,
we can't be like ignorant to the fact.
Yeah, now you can't be. No, you can't say neither to know.
Yeah.
Now you actually see. I mean, you're seeing it the first time, but you also know that there's really not much you can.
Yeah.
It's
to untie that, you need to unravel that, which is unravel.
Yeah, you start going down a wormhole.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you find yourself in a Like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
You know, it just started off as a simple traffic ticket. I'm all the way.
Yeah.
I'm all the way here. I'm in Capitol building protest.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
It's-
but yeah, it's been a wild ride. This whole coming out of prison. I had this is what I told my on my interview, and my story's kind of like, you know, from war to prison to Pepperdine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a story in
yeah,
itself.
it's a story in itself. Yeah, it's been, and now getting reconnected back with my old war buddies and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it's hard too, even just reconnect with all your old friends. You have to really let go of a lot of past anger. Like, oh man, this person did not reach out. But then when you're out here, man, you just get so busy.
Yeah.
Life here. That's what I was telling my. Sometimes, you know, when I used to get mad when I called my parents, like, "Hey, where's my package?
Yeah.
I need my books." And like, "Oh, we're busy. What? It'll take you 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Why did you just sit there and do it?"
Yeah. Yeah.
And then now sometimes with one of my sons, "Hey man, you take care of that package," and be like, "Oh,
Oh, you're like, oh, I'm that person now.
now I'm that person."
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but,
So I'm busy.
yeah, no, but they also now they understand as well, you know,
Yeah.
because they know that
But you can explain it to
Yeah.
them from both perspectives.
Yes.
Whereas your parents didn't have that ability. They were just like, hey, I'm busy. But
Yeah.
now you can be like, look, I understand how you're feeling, but I really am busy.
yeah, no, I lose track of times.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that happen because then you have your schedule kind of set up, and then it's off to the wind because so many factors are gonna.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have, okay, from 3 to 4, I thought I was gonna do this to this, but this happened. Now I can't make this because of this, and you just start your whole day just unravels at the slightest thing,
Yeah.
and then you just go damage control.
Yeah. Just firefighting.
Yeah, just trying to fix the situation. But that's what I want to tell these guys out here, to not freak out,
Yeah.
because a lot of them do freak out and then they just go back. But no, I mean, regardless, you know, the world's gonna keep on turning.
Yeah.
Regardless, you know,
It's waging.
yeah, there's no reason to go back.
Yeah.
There's no reason to turn
Yeah.
back the clock. And sometimes you just gotta make yourself you're not in those situations.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if I'm not trying to go to prison, I'm not gonna go to a sideshow where they're doing, you know,
Yeah.
rallies and guns and stuff like that. Obviously, that's where things can happen.
Yeah. So just make the good choices. Don't put yourself in those situations, especially now you're more vulnerable to it.
Yes, but that's what you also got to make these guys understand, because you know, like you mentioned yourself, the person that I was when I was 21, 22 is complete idiot.
Yeah.
You know, I thought I knew so much because I was a war veteran.
Yeah.
I knew nothing.
Yeah.
I knew nothing. I was just completely ignorant.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of these guys, they don't have that knowledge, or people that want to tell them or deliver it to them in a way
Yeah.
that they will understand. Deliveries, probably, I mean, we have the knowledge,
Yeah.
but it's the way we deliver
Yeah.
is the important. How can I make this connect
Yeah.
to who I'm giving it to?
Stick it to
Stick
the
it.
where their brain is right now.
And unfortunately, us, you know, that have been just as impacted, we don't receive the information like everybody else does.
Yeah.
You know, we have just so many factors. Ego, you have, you know,
Yeah.
old belief systems, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
And now we have to do it in a way where they can actually digest the information and make it stick.
Yeah.
Make it stick. And unfortunately, that's not being done. And that's why the peer leadership mentor program was very key.
Yeah.
And, you know, really tailor habilitation and rehabilitation, because sometimes you have to teach those things, not reteach.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Well, thank you for coming on today. Thank you for the water.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. You know, like I said, it's a gift from Sheila.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to start doing the farmers markets again.
Yes, that would be great.
Yeah,
I'll
so
see you there.
we'll see you there.
Yeah, thank you. You've been listening to a Dogs Train Home podcast, where every story reminds us that second chances are real.